So, long story short, I'm forced once again to revisit the idea of hybriding. Um, Stanford Social Innovation Review has a white paper article that was released in summer 2012. Oftentimes, I will go back to Columbia's white papers and pull them up. I'll pull up Kellogg. I'll pull up, whatever. What's that hotel? That is the famous hotel. Tons of reviews. Tons of white papers on really, and you could pull from them and extract and really get what Here it goes. In the first large-scale quantitative study of social entrepreneurs, researchers from Harvard Business School and Echoing Green. You heard me talk about that a couple weeks ago. Echoing Green is one of the most amazing fellowships. And God knows every time I have an application written for it for 3 years and I refuse to submit it until it's tight. Okay? Harvard Business School and Echoing Green examined the rise of hybrid organizations that combine aspects of nonprofit and for-profit and the challenges hybrids face in an attempt to integrate traditionally separated organizational models. So basically, yes, you could be a nonprofit and a for-profit at the same time. Now, let me explain something to you. That is not a new concept. It has been existent. The hybrid concept, I really believe, comes through if you wanted to start. So one of the things it talks about in a recent review coverage, Hot Bread Kitchen reads as if it was written about it was written as a nonprofit organization, but Hot Bread Kitchen also is a for-profit organization with an award-winning workforce development program. Organizations that are local, like in New York, that we could talk about is Housing Works. Housing Works, I think, is one of the first organizations I personally knew that was running business for community, utilizing community, and utilizing that to fund their programs. And if I can remember, that came out of a very challenging experience they had with Giuliani back in the day, right? So that's when they said, okay, we're going to put our foot down. We're going to get your money, but we're not going to depend upon you we're going to do more for community. Thank you. And so I think while there are a couple of organizations that have really tapped the hybrid concept, it's still not, I don't think, generally accepted. It's becoming more and more accepted now because even foundations are like Brooklyn Community Foundation, in my personal opinion, is a foundation that really embraces innovation. They embrace organizations becoming self-sufficient. Robin Hood is really like that too. The New York Community Trust has sort of gotten there too as well. So they want you to be able to sustain. I also believe that programs like ours, where community is investing in the program by fees, whether it's below rate, we're definitely lower than most traditional camps, Asphalt Green or that are doing this, or Park Slope Day Camp or Mill Basin Day Camp. Those are $4,000 a year camps. And so, we're thinking about how do we, but hybrid for me does not necessarily mean automatical government dependency or government support. Hybrid really means that I can now be able to support certain aspects of the business or the model. Generally, hybrids are, so the general core business or the service delivery is the nonprofit, and there's something that happens along the way that supports it. Our model was sort of written differently initially, that we would be the self-sufficient generating entity, and then, but you can't so a hybrid doesn't work that way, people, and that's my challenge, is how do we redefine that if we have to restructure, we have those abilities. One of the things, you can always turn a for-profit into a nonprofit. You cannot turn a nonprofit into a for-profit. Law. So, as we explore our options, here are some of the things we're thinking. Tons of different things. One of the things we learned that staffing, maybe we really need to create a robust program that really trains innovators, or trains our people throughout the year, and then we not only put them in our camp, but we put them in other programs. I don't know. That's generally not the model I'm going to go with. And there are different organizations through our community that are doing. So one of the things I just wanted to come back and say that the experience for me, the cost of the experience, it's a lot right now for me. But honestly, it's that big. And I've dealt with that big, actually, that big, dead serious. So this, it's just, I think it was like a little bit of a shocker. It had that experience and the response. So I'm talking differently today. I'm really thinking about, and I'm working with a couple of organizations. And one of the things I'm thinking about, okay, how do we do this? There are several platforms that we have, that we can utilize, that we can raise investment capital. Two friends of mine this week ironically called me and said, hey, Andre, I want to start this type of business. What do you think? And my response is, if you can build your systems that connects you with your customers yourself, you can do anything you want. Because it's an open market space. The online Facebook, and let me explain something. It's open market space, and so you don't need a whole lot. If you could create product, if it's soaps or whatever you want to do, you don't need a whole lot. It all is up here and drive. Every single parent that enrolled in Camp Bed-Stuy either spoke to me, recommended me, were recommended by me, or made contact with me. Half of them I knew and half of them I didn't know. And they all made their registrations through our online platform. We never collected one piece of paper, only medical forms, and we never collected, everything was signed online. Everything was online. Payment was made online. So people, believe in the fact that even though I'm challenged, I'm looking at this as an opportunity to really improve my model. Honest to God, Camp Bed-Stuy is just a tiny phase of what my ideas are long-term, what my goals are long-term. I really want to be a pipeline for innovation in emerging communities. Pretty much. I want to be on the cusp of saving and doing for the people who were there and who will be there, and the people who are coming in who can help us achieve more for the overall community. I stopped turning my face and saying, oh, gentrification, because, gentrification in Fort Greene made me who I was, honest to God. And I'm from Flatbush Junction, Midwood, and gentrification over there are going to make those kids, who they will be, with Applebee's and all kinds of stuff. Come on, the Junction didn't have nothing but Golden Crust back in the day, and KFC, and Wendy's. So it has definitely changed. It has bumped up a whole lot. There are a lot of different restaurants. I want to be on the cusp of emerging communities. That change and challenge where some people are getting left out and some people could afford more. You come right in, and so that's the concept. And we're looking to do this. Honestly, I'm talking a whole lot, but I'm looking to do this. My next project might not be the kickoff project to this. You'd be operating this, but it probably won't be in New York. Because honestly, there are other emerging markets. So people must understand that my mind, this little challenge, I reacted because I was passionate and I felt that what happened here was just a small intricacy, just a small issue in the overall mission. We need to save our communities, and we need, honestly, Black and brown people who are qualified and and who are motivated to come into community and do this work. It's tough. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not anyone perfect. I'm not anyone 20 years experience in, but we need to support our entrepreneurs, and even when they're struggling and when they're facing challenges. Fortunately, I do believe that I will get through this very quickly, but for child, it's really not an issue, girl. I just have to pull the strings and make sure everything falls into place. And, but we need to support each other a little bit more. And we need to be very careful about how that's done when it comes to the overall betterment of the community. It's not you or I, it's the overall betterment of the community. The benefactors of Camp Bed-Stuy is not Andre, clearly. The benefactors of Camp Bed-Stuy are those kids who had those experiences, that's what it was about. And so when you begin to, you didn't hit me, you hit me, because, you hit me, but you also, I'm going to leave it alone, people. Pipeline, emerging communities, operational self-sufficiency, expenses, cost centers, return on investment. This is Andre. And don't forget to visit campbedstuy.org.